That didn't go well. Where do you want to start?
I say we start at halftime. I mean, there were some things that we could talk about in the first half, some innovative maybe things that we saw from the offense. The defense looked like going into half they were starting to shore up that run defense. But then the Panthers come out of halftime and it all goes wrong. In a blink of an eye and really in about the span of 4 minutes, the Panthers went from being very much in this game to the game getting out of control. And that's what it was. The second half of this game was absolutely all Atlanta, and that's why we're leaving with the score that it is and the faces of disappointment on this Panthers team.
And that trend coming out of the half, it's been a trend this season. Panthers have by far and away given up the most points in the NFL in the third quarter this season. And also a very disturbing trend, the turnovers, takeaways of the last few weeks. Over this 5-game losing streak, the Panthers have 13 turnovers and just 1 takeaway, and you're not going to win games like that.
No, you're not. And really, this Panthers team, they're in a really tough spot. They've lost their head coach. They're no longer even in any playoff conversation. And you still have a month of football left, and you have to figure out a way to motivate yourself to be able to get something out of these last games. And today, you didn't get anything out of this one.
Nope, so we'll go back to Charlotte, Seattle next week. Guys, back to you.
Thank you very much, guys. Let's go back to what they were saying. This Panthers team was definitely in this game at halftime. It just kind of got away from them in the second half, which we have seen other times so far this season. You said at the beginning there were just mishaps, and it's kind of been the story of the Panthers season. What mishaps did you see today?
Well, I think when you look at it, you have to look at the front, the big guys up front on the offensive side and the defensive side. Offensively, we gave up 5 sacks today, and it wasn't just coverage sacks. It was guys getting beat at the point of attack right away. And then defensively, being able to stop the run. It all starts up front with the big guys. They gave up 30 carries for 157 yards today, and that's just not going to get it done.
Yeah, Mike said it. I mean, those stats right there, you got to win in the trenches, and then all the yardage they gave up on defense really does sum it up. To me, Bill Voth also had it with the 4 turnovers. It's been the trend. That's why we're in the midst of this losing streak, and I think that this definitely has to find ways to improve that. And I saw today there was different times where made some really nice throws, good decisions. But with the offensive line struggling, the sacks that they had today just compounded the problem. They couldn't get anything generated in the second half. And you're hoping, like, what's the one game we're going to trail at halftime that we're going to come back and break the trend?
Right.
It just went the other direction, like we've seen happen so many times over the last few weeks. So disappointing. It's correctable things, but it's a lot of the same stuff we were seeing during the regular season so far.
Definitely. You both mentioned the struggles for the run defense, but the first time we played Atlanta, it kind of got figured out. We held them to just 54 rushing yards. What did Atlanta do differently today? Well,
what you see is they put more tight ends on the field, and they ran more outside zone schemes. That way Devontae Freeman was able to get outside and put his foot in the ground and make a cut. And, obviously having a banged up Luke Kuechly didn't help on that side. I mean, guys were in the right spots, it just didn't make the tackles.
Yeah, I think teams have confidence now that they can run. I think there was an attitude, for the Panthers that we'd stop the run really well and don't turn the ball over, and it's kind of been our brand, the character of this team, the way it's developed with Fox and then Rivera. And now teams don't fear just going right to the run game. You'd see teams just a few weeks ago, you're like, why weren't they running Adrian Peterson sooner? Or why weren't they running this guy sooner? Because they're killing us. Atlanta said, you know what, we're going to start out running the ball right from the beginning, and able to take Freeman out of the game late in there because they had such control of the game. So they did a masterful job. It's like we said so many times, there's different guys not controlling their gap, getting pushed a little bit too wide, someone's not in position, and teams are finding ways to take advantage of it.
Right, that Atlanta offense definitely played with some confidence. Well, right now, we are going to send it back out to Atlanta to the press conference room to hear from interim head coach Perry Fewell.
Questions?
Perry, your overall thoughts of the loss today?
I thought we fought hard in the first half. We came out and after halftime, turned the ball over several times. We did not play consistent and good football in the third quarter, which led to our demise as far as the third and the fourth quarter was concerned. I felt like we would play much better in that second half than we played, but that wasn't the case.
Barry, you mentioned the turnovers. You're going to 5-game streak here. 13 turnovers, 1 takeaway. Is there any way to get past those numbers if you're going to win in the league?
Oh, you have to get past those numbers. You know, that's the key to winning in this league. You know, we emphasize throughout the week about protecting the football, both offensively and special teams wise. We emphasized, you know, taking away the football defensively. That didn't happen today. We just have to, again, reset, start again, and get the mindset that we're not going to turn that football over and that we're going to take that football away.
And the takeaways have really dried up. How do you get that sparked again?
Yeah, we just have to, you know, sometimes turnovers come in bunches, you know, and we've just got to make that happen. I mean, we have the people on the field to make that happen and make some plays, and we've just got to make that happen.
That sequence where
Yeah.
where they had you had them backed up. You chose to punt first of all, then you backed them up, then they had a 93-yard pass. Just I guess talk about sort of that sequence, and then their kicker ended up recovering a fumble. Right?
Yes. You know, on that sequence, we had not been playing. We needed a spark, I felt like. You know, so we backed them up. I thought they were in a position, and we tried to blitz defensively that we felt like we could get home and make something happen. You say, how do you create turnovers? We were trying to create something to make something happen for our team so we could get some positive energy to change the momentum a little bit, but it didn't work.
And what happened on the first touchdown by Ridley, where he did it bite up Jackson, or what exactly happened from your end?
Yeah, we were in a coverage that, you know, they've seen that coverage before, and we just triggered too quickly when the quarterback had the ball. It's designed for the rush and the coverage to work together. The rush didn't work as well as the coverage worked, and then we triggered really too quickly, and Ridley was open on that play. So that was a combination of rush and coverage.
Kind of an up and down day for Ian Thomas. Obviously followed that ball, but then comes back to get the touchdown. In terms of development, do you kind of just deal with these bumps in the road as they come?
Well, you have to deal with them. I mean, you know, we expected more consistency. I thought that he had a really good week of prep, and we expected more consistency from him as well as some of the other guys today. So, yeah, we just have to go back to work. You know, we have to go back to the grind, and as we look at the tape, we have to assess each position coach has to assess how we can improve our individual position.
Barry, have you had conversations with Marty about when or if you guys might take a look at Will Greer?
No. We will. We're going with our quarterback situation as we have it right now, and I think that gives us the best opportunity to win right now.
Would your, barring injury, would you think it'll be Kyle the rest of the way out?
Barring injury, you know, we're on a prove it basis. Okay, we're day to day. Okay, as you well know. Okay, we're week to week. So I'll never say never. Okay, but with our situation that the way it is right now, I think he gives us the best opportunity.
Hey, Coach, considering the inconsistencies against the run kind of all season, can you explain the rationale behind not having kind of your two bigger bodies that you guys added a couple weeks ago active, instead kind of going toward a smaller front?
Yeah, we felt like with the two bigger body guys that this was not a real good scheme for them to play in. So obviously we felt like the people that we activated today were the people that could help us win today.
Despite the outcome, how was it for you being the head guy out there, the head coach?
It's pretty bad right now. But out there on the field, I felt like I felt very in control of what was happening with the situations, the challenges, the speed of the game. It just seemed natural for me.
Barry, it looked like you called the defense. What went into the decision, and how did you think that part of it went?
You know, I have experience doing it, and I have a lot of help with our defensive staff. It was a collaboration. You know, some was me and some wasn't me, but most of it was me. So, hey, I just wanted to get back into the groove.
Coach, what you guys asked of Kyle today, and how do you evaluate this performance today for you guys?
Could you repeat that? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
What were you asking of Kyle Allen today? Could you evaluate his performance today on the field?
Yeah, well, we asked him to really, from a coverage standpoint, they were a team that allowed a lot of underneath and check down routes. So we asked him to, hey, if he saw the open man, okay, and if a 5-yard gain was as good as a 25-yard gain, okay, and we asked him to protect the football, okay, but we also ask our offensive line to protect the quarterback, okay. So I thought Kyle fought. I thought he did a really nice job of not dropping his head, not hanging his head. He came back and put together a really good 2-minute drive at the end of half. He put together a really good 2-minute drive at the end of game. So I'm gonna look for the positive things that he did. We didn't protect him as well as we should have, and obviously he made some mistakes along the way. But he'll continue to grow and he'll continue to get better.
Right before that Calvin Ridley touchdown, Julio Jones had a long catch down the sideline. It seemed like Bradbury was right there. That battle between those guys, what did you see on the field today?
Yeah, I just saw that Julio was probably a little fresher today, had a step on James today. James fought him hard, but Julio is one of the top receivers in this league, and I thought he played an outstanding football game and did what Atlanta asked him to do from a perspective of, making the big play when he needed to make the big play.
Hey, Coach, in a blowout situation, especially keeping starters like Christian in so late in the game, can you explain that decision-making process? And also, how do you walk that line between wanting to see what some of the younger guys have and then, knowing when to pull and when to keep in?
I would say that as competitors, those guys don't want to leave the field. So that decision really comes from us as athletes, as competitors, that we're going to fight to the very end. So that's what factors into that decision. What was your second part of your question?
Just walking that line between wanting to get a look at some of the younger guys, wanting to get some ideas about different things you guys can do with some of the younger players in the ranks, walking that line between staying competitive to the end and getting some younger guys in.
Yeah. So as far as the younger guys, playing, et cetera, we evaluate those guys every day in practice, okay? We have a good idea of what they will bring to us, okay? And then, obviously, if we felt like that in a situation that we wanted to see that, then we would definitely make that decision. But as a competitor, Christian McCaffrey wanted to be on the field.
Harry, you talked about the fight and the competitiveness. This team for a few weeks now has said it's not an effort issue, it's an execution issue. Can you put your finger on why the execution issues have persisted through this losing streak?
Yeah, I wish I could put my finger on that, because if I could, then we wouldn't do the things that we have done. We go through a lot of drills as far as securing the football. We go through a lot of preparation as far as how to take care of the football, and it happens. Those things happen. So, we just have to go back to the drawing board. We have to look at what we're doing and see if we can do it better, teach it better, emphasize it better, because not only the players know, okay, but all of you and the fans know that, hey, if we continue to turn the football over and don't take care of it and do some of the things that we're doing, we will not be successful. So it's my job, and it's my job to make us successful, and we're going to find a solution to that problem. I don't have that solution right now, but we're going to find a solution to that problem.
Was there anything specifically with the run defense today? Last time, was no problem stopping them. That was one of the things that went well in that first game against Atlanta. Was there anything today that was an issue against the run?
They ran something very similar to what the Redskins did last week, and we had a counter for that. I think the last play that they ran, we were in a blitz situation. Okay, we were anticipating one thing, and they did something different, and they put us in a vulnerable position, and so they were able to get some what I call garbage yards to make the run defense look bad.
What was your message to the team following that loss? What was your message to the team, and then how would you characterize what guys are playing for with 3 games left?
Yeah, well, we're all playing for our jobs, okay? And my message to the team was simply this: we love this game. It's the game of football. Okay, and we chose to play football or coach football, and the competitive spirit in all of us, we don't like to lose, but we came out on the short end of that today. So we will go back to work, we'll get back into the grind, we'll reset, we'll refocus, and we will work to get a win next week, because that's the most important game, next week's game.
Thanks. Guys, we'll have Kyle in just a minute.
you laugh, Taylor.
First post-game press conference for the interim head coach, Perry Fuel. Now, he was mentioning inconsistency, and honestly, I feel like a bit of a broken record. We have talked about that this season, but we've seen the coaching change this week. We know the potential for some personnel changes moving forward. If you're talking inconsistency for this Panthers team, what fixes that?
Leave it to
Stomped
me.
them.
Hey, I got you, right?
Okay.
You need, this is a bit of a broken record, but it's going back to the offense and defensive line, because that's why so many places are struggling with consistency, because sometimes there's a great pass rush. Today, only 1 sack. You know, really didn't get to Matt Ryan a whole bunch. And what happened? A lot of deep passes, some guys wide open because he had a lot of time. The running game on offense, something you can focus on that you know you can churn some young running yards out of and keep drives going. You know, you'd hit one and then there'd be a minus play or a sack, and there was just too many second and third and long situations. It's just too tough for Kyle Allen to get out of those. He's not equipped at this point to be able to get those deep throws with the protection he's getting. So, you know, really, it's like you said, we said it over and over during the season. They're going to have to go back this all season. There's a lot of good pieces there, but they need to tweak some things, get some more other guys in here, draft, whatever it is. But those two areas have to be bolstered, or they're not going to have success next year either. Wow. I threw it out there.
You heard that, guys. Well, someone who is certainly impacted by the play of that line is quarterback Kyle Allen. So we are going to send it back out to Atlanta to hear from him in the press conference room.
Kyle, can you just walk us through your overall impressions of what worked and what didn't work today?
You know, it was tough today. I thought the first half we kind of battled back and gave ourselves a shot to come out in the second half and really put something together. And then obviously we were driving, and then that sack fumble really hurt us, and they scored on the next drive. And, you know, we had the fumble on the kickoff return, and then the interception by me, and the interception first half too. It's just, I mean, it's just kind of the same things, you know, just shooting ourselves in the foot. So, you know, I thought we were, in the first half, I was pleased with what we did, and I thought we gave ourselves a shot, and then it just got out of hand.
Did you go over and say anything to Ian or talk to him at all about, obviously, kind of the ball bounced off his chest? A guy like that who's getting his reps in late in the year and wanting to make an impact, you know, as a quarterback, do you want to say anything?
Yeah. I went over to him right after that, and I said, I'm going to keep coming to you. And we threw a touchdown to him later. He's going to be a great player. You know, stuff like that's going to happen. Stuff like that's happened to me, too. I've done some dumb stuff, or things haven't gone my way. And so I know the feeling, so I just want to tell him, I was like, listen, you're going to be a great player. Like, we're going to keep coming to you. And that's how everyone feels, too. No one was down on him after that. He came back and made a play.
I think you guys were 3 for 10 converting on third downs. What was the biggest challenge for you guys out there in sustaining drives?
I don't know. It just seems like a blur because it seems like we were just throwing the ball the whole second half at that point. So I don't really, to be honest, third down, second down, the second half was tough. First half, obviously we want to be better on third down, but I mean, I'll have to go back and look at it, to be honest with you.
Throwing the ball so often, was that the biggest difference with Scott calling the plays?
No, I mean, we were just down by so much. So running the ball was just going to run the clock out, so we had to push the ball down the field.
Was there any, other than, you know, the voice you're hearing in your ear, was there like any differences really?
No, I always tell him this. I say, you guys call the plays, we go out and execute them. So he's always in my head anyways. His dad talks to him, and then he translates it to me. So no difference.
Kyle, you said it yourself, it's the same issues that have been, you know, turning the ball over, that sort of thing. How frustrating is to feel like the same things over and over again in the past few games?
Yeah, I mean, it's really frustrating. It's really frustrating because I know, I mean, you've seen it early in the year. You saw the potential that we have, and it's just we got to put all the pieces together. So, yeah, it's really frustrating to come out every Sunday and put in good work and put in really good practices and have a good energy and good vibe coming into the game, and then just have these mistakes kind of pile up. It's frustrating.
And when they're able to get pressure like they did again today, you know, in the first game they also were able, they had 4 or whatever sacks against you. Was that an issue again today? I mean, obviously the sacks add up, but did you feel like you were under pressure a lot in the second half?
Yeah, it's tough to say that was an issue because when you start throwing the ball a bunch, the defense knows what's coming, you know what I mean? And we have to do that to get back in the game, but those D linemen can kind of pin their ears back. They can call stunts. They can call more pass blitzes and pass like rush lanes and stuff like that. So it's tough. I mean, I just got to get the ball out of my hands and get it completed and tire them out and just keep moving down the field like we did on that last drive.
Harry said you guys are playing on a prove-it basis. Guys are playing for the jobs, playing for Ron, playing for the man next to him, playing to snap this losing streak. For you, among those, what's the biggest motivator to go out there and win?
That I get a chance to play in the NFL. I wasn't supposed to be here. I went undrafted. I've only been in the league 2 years. I don't need any motivation to go out there and play on Sundays. It's a dream come true. I don't need any motivation.
And Kyle, for you, when you guys have to play from behind the way that you did today and the way that you guys have had to do often in the last few games, how does that change the playbook other than taking away the run like you guys would like to establish?
I mean, that's just the main thing is you take away the run game, and it's just tough, like I said, because the defense can start to key. They can start to drop deeper. They can start to – they don't have to be – the guys that have run responsibilities don't have to worry about run responsibilities nearly as much. And that's why you saw on that last drive when we ran the one run play we did and gashed them for like 12 yards. So, yeah, it's just tough, but, I mean, that's what you got to do to get back in the game.
In training camp, a lot of people, I think, were really excited seeing you and hearing about you kind of unfurl that deep ball to Curtis Samuel specifically. Couple misses here and there with him. What's off there right now about that connection?
I don't know. I wouldn't say the connection's off. I just think you're going to hit some, you're going to miss some, you know? I mean, we got a couple pass interferences. We probably should have had another one to him that was pass interference, and we pushed the ball down the field today a decent amount, you know? DJ made a great catch on a go route, and I think that's something that we're trying to do more of is when we see people come up and press us, we got to take those shots, and, you know, that I got to throw the ball more accurately and just give them a chance, and I don't know, I wouldn't say we're off, you know?
Great to see Kyle Allen kind of mixing it up a little bit there, saying he needs nothing to motivate him for games. Undrafted, wasn't supposed to be here, only in his second year in the NFL. So he's a fighter. He's a competitor. We know this team will compete. Now we're trying to find guys who can help out the cause to get this team better. Someone we haven't seen a whole lot this year, Ian Thomas. Greg Olson's been healthy this year. He did miss this game because of the injury. Ian Thomas gets his opportunity. So early in this game, really set the tone, I think, getting out there, getting a grab, and getting comfortable with Kyle Allen.
Absolutely. Whenever you're backing up somebody who I think could be a future Hall of Famer, you know, you kind of have to sit back and learn from this guy. But Greg's not playing today, so you have to see what the future beholds for this young fella.
Yep.
So
as this play goes, you're going to see Ian's going to trickle up the field here inside. We're going to lose him for a minute, but then basically working back out to the sideline. So Kyle Allen spots him here. And Mike, take it from here because this gets good.
So
this gets good.
This is just a straight attitude play. So the route concept is just a 992 switch. Basically, the inside receiver just ran up, outside receiver ran here, and Ian Thomas, he just ran straight out to the sideline. So as you let it play, you can tell that Ian Thomas, he has a smaller defender on him right there, and he's playing bully ball right now. Get off me, little guy. I got an attitude. We're losing. You're going to get all of this work right now. That's
called being your own blocker, right? You got the ball and you're blocking the guy that you're carrying, but, man, drove him 10 yards downfield. I love it. I love that.
That's the best type of BYOB.
Yep, and he's a big target. He's athletic. And tell me you weren't in a panic when you saw this play. We were first and goal. Now we're second and goal here on this play. Visions of getting stopped on the goal line are going through all of our heads, but not this one, is it, Mike?
I almost closed my eyes, and then I realized the formation and then what the defense was in. When you see Jarius Wright come this way, you see this defender come right here, you know that it's man on man, right? So he has this guy.
Correct.
So when you see that, and you see a two receiver side, you know there's going to be a pick route or a rub route or a run or spread right by Christian right there. So as you let it play, you could tell that when Jarius comes right here and he stops, he's picking right now. So all he does is he just runs and gets in the way. Doesn't even touch
anyone.
Don't touch him. Completely legal play. Some people might call it a penalty. I call it a touchdown for this young fella.
Hey, we're on the goal line. We got it in. We got it in.
You love it.
All right, you mentioned Ian Thomas had to wait around behind a future Hall of Famer. Shaq Thompson is on board to talk with us after this game. He had to wait a little bit when Thomas Davis finally moved on, but he got his opportunity, and now he's rolling in with a big fat wallet. So let's go to Caroline now with Shaq Thompson.
I'm here with the CPI voice of the defense, Shaq Thompson, and at halftime, this was a 13-10 ball game. What was the shift?
We just kind of just broke down. We just allowed big plays, had some turnovers. I mean, it's tough playing backed up as a defense, and they got great field position. But we had some times where we got 3 and out. So I mean, we just got to go back to the drawing board. And if we allow them, if we make sure they'll score points in, it doesn't matter how long we're on the field.
Is it tough to not get overly frustrated on this 5th loss and the point of the season you guys are in?
Oh, yeah, no doubt. We just got to stay together as a team, and that's what we're going to do. When this game's over, we'll go back to the drawing board Monday and get ready for the Seahawks.
Well, not even a full week with Perry Fuel as your head coach, and then first message from him afterwards. What was the message from head coach Perry Fuel?
Just stay together at the end of the day. It was a tough one, and go, like I said, go back to the drawing board Monday, then we'll get ready for the Seahawks.
Great. Well, thank you so much. That was CPI voice of the defense, Shaq Thompson.
Thank you, Caroline. We certainly appreciate that insight. And you both actually have a lot of insight, and I want to get some of that because you guys know some of these players personally. You guys interact with them a lot. Everything that this season has brought to them, including losing their coach. How have they handled this on a personal level, and how did you kind of see that aftermath come out today?
It's tough because you see guys like Shaq Thompson right here or Luke Kuechly. They were visibly shaken up, by losing their guy, the guy that drafted them, the guy that believed so much in them. But you also can tell that they went out and wanted to play for him. It's just unfortunate that everybody didn't play with the same type of level and intensity that they did.
Yeah, and it's, it seems like coaches have kind of a lifespan where they're not anywhere for 20 years, and if you get a 9-year run in, which Ron Rivera did, I mean, there's going to be a lot of sadness. A lot of people, just hate to see you leave the building because they've had so much success over the years with him and has done such a great job. It's an emotional impact on this team. This team has had a lot of distractions all year long. Just start with Cam Newton at the beginning of the year and all the different things with some injuries, different things come up along the way. So there's just been so much just piled on their plate. And today really felt like, they hung around that first half, but sometimes, off that emotional and trying to play better and have a spark like Coach Fuel said, get something fired up from the beginning, played kind of tough. But then after that, the dam almost broke. And that's why we saw that outpouring of points by the Falcons in that second half. So, for these guys, it's difficult. And I think they'll come back next week and be much better prepared. But with losing a coach midseason like that, I've been through it. It causes a lot of chaos that fans don't even realize within the locker room of trying to figure out your place, where you go from here, who's even coaching what are the responsibilities, how's everyone divvying things up. It's a lot. It's a lot for these guys.
Certainly a difficult change at this point, especially considering how difficult the season has been already. You also add in that Scott Turner was now calling the plays today. Now, that was somewhat familiar for Kyle Allen, having him on the sideline all season, but definitely some change for the young quarterback to implement today. How do you guys think he handled it?
Well, first off, I think Scott Turner did an amazing job today by mixing up the plays, getting Christian on the edge, getting DJ and Curtis involved in the running game as well, getting everybody involved, Ian Thomas getting the ball down the field. And Kyle, I think he played decently. I think there's some situations where he could have gotten rid of the ball and lessened some of those sacks, but he's still learning. He's not even a full season in yet. Yeah. Nobody's going to be great right away. Everybody can't be Lamar Jackson or, you have to play your game and do the things you need to do to win.
I don't think, with Scott, you're looking to see what was different. I think what you brought up is really interesting because they did run DJ and Samuel a little bit more today, and I think trying to keep the Falcons defense off guard. But something I really noticed was Christian McCaffrey helping out to block. Sometimes he's assigned a man and he blocks him, or maybe he didn't. I think he gave up one of the sacks today, getting beat. But there was 4 or 5 times in the game where he did not go out. He didn't go out for a check down. He just helped out, especially one of the tackles. Saw him helping out Dennis Daly on the left side. And I thought that was brilliant. A lot of times those passes from that protection would go to Ian Thomas. And I think Scott Turner realized there was a mismatch there with Ian's athleticism. And if he makes that one catch going down the sideline, his stats would have been even greater today. It turns out to be an interception. But he redeemed himself later by getting the touchdown in the game. So got us some points, which was good. We needed them bad today.
Absolutely. I mean, we have certainly seen glimpses of what Kyle Allen is able to do at the quarterback position. We've seen that all season. Tough day for him, a tough game last week, the O-line being, in the position that they're in right now. 5 sacks for him, 2 interceptions. He went 28 of 41, and a lot of people start asking, why not give Will Grier an opportunity? Why have we not seen him? You even brought that up during the game as well. It's a thought of a lot of people. So what would you say to them as to why we haven't seen Will Grier?
I think that Kyle Allen right now is the guy that we need to have under center. I mean, he's got the most experience, obviously, but he also has the most to prove, so to speak. I mean, stepping in, filling in for an MVP type caliber player in Cam Newton is tough in itself.
Sure.
But to start off 4-0 this year, 4-0 with victory, being able to prove that you can come back from this type of adversity, lead your team down the field like he did at the 2-minute drive before the half, lead his team down the field to get points, to get, whether it's 3 or 7, being able to show to everybody, not just on this team, but around the league, that this is a guy that we need to play for us.
And with a lot of uncertainty with Cam Newton in the offseason, you got to figure out your quarterback situation.
Yeah.
And with Kyle Allen, you've got to get him reps, as many reps as you possibly can. With 3 games to go, I think it would be wise at some point just to throw Will Grier in there, even if it's just mop-up duty towards the end of the game, just to get some of that out. Kyle Allen had that benefit last year. That last game against the Saints came out on top victorious, but at least showed them that his work in practice and then what he did in the game against the Saints, that gave him an opportunity to be on this roster. And now he's, I think, by far played into a backup role. And now it's a matter of, can he continue getting better to maybe challenge for a starting job, or maybe get a job somewhere else. And it's got to be his personal goals, just keep getting better and better. But I would like to see Will get in there at some point, just to give him some reps. But we'll just see if that opportunity comes up. It may be some close games down the wire here, and you want to win ball games. It's what it's all about. You want fans in the stands. You want to see some points put up, and Kyle gives you that best chance right now.
Absolutely. I mean, certainly a lot of question marks surrounding this Panthers team right now, and some of these guys may have the next 3 games to prove that they deserve to be on this roster, so they certainly deserve the opportunity to do that. Another tough test next week. The Seahawks come to town. Russell Wilson leading them to a very stellar season. How do you do it? What's the approach?
After last year, they won last minute. I mean, there's bad blood between these 2 franchises.
Yeah.
Anyway. It goes back a long way. And that Super Bowl year, I think it was the year you just kicked the door in up there in Seattle, got a last-minute win against the Hawks up there. There's no love here. There's no love. It's almost like a 5th division team in the South, right?
You just got to go punch them in the mouth. That's it. Just punch them in the mouth and just try to get a win.
At this point, you have nothing to lose.
Exactly.
Play like it. All right, guys. Well, that wraps it up for us here on Panthers Postgame Live, presented by Lenovo. Thank you so much for joining us every week. We will be back next week after the Seahawks game. We will see you then.